All right, it's been a while, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Level City Radio. And my host, Level City, So I'm back with actually one of the familiar faces. You've heard him, you've heard about him, and you have actually watched him on this same channel. Today, we are here to have just a very insightful and a beautiful conversation about whatever has been happening in the lives when we are outside the camera. So, allow me, ladies and gentlemen, and tell you about we have one and only the young writer. They call him the young Chinua Achebe. They call him whatever many names, but I'll call him Mr. Agapito Akampulira. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
How's been life, man?
Just so cool.
Mm,
Yeah, so my name is Agatha Kampulira,
mm.
an author, a young author of 2 books so far.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and like Thomas Mann says, writing is so difficult to write than it is to someone else. We are here to delve into issues of what writing is actually to everyone out there, a young writer like me. So we shall be discussing the trials and the triumphs as we go through this show.
You talked about I don't know whoever that person said, the writer, about that quotation that writing is easy, something like that. Is it that one of the misconception that people have that actually writers are naturally talented, or it's actually practice of life and stuff?
Actually, the guy says writing is something so difficult to write than it is someone else. So
Mm,
most people think, mostly the readers, that a writer actually finds writing so easy, but it's not the case.
mm,
If you see my book Wounded, it
mm.
really had most of the triumphs. The triumphs were actually less than the trials. So it's
Mm.
actually a very Herculean task. You can never finish it in one sitting, 1 month. It always takes time. So it's really very hard to us than it is to the readers because for them at the end of the day, they consume the already produced work.
From what I know, is like you're a student of law right now,
Yeah.
and at the same time, you have actually banged your bachelor's degree in international communication. What inspires you to go at that length to actually do all these studies at once at the same time? Like, you know,
I think the law profession actually also blends in with journalism because we have seen very many people, pursue the same courses at once,
mm,
like Honorable Joe Senyoni. So at the end of the day, you find when you have done journalism, you can actually, advocate for people's rights
mm,
later on in the
mm.
future. So I felt like these are two, matching courses. That's why when I finished journalism at Mackay University, I was, persuaded to actually also pursue law at Kingsley University. So it's actually, the courses feel like to me they match. I can always, have the same goal even when I've succeeded at pursuing both courses.
uh, let's a little bit go back to life on campus. Yeah. While you were still at Makerere, yeah, the life that was at McCure, the 4 years you spent studying the journalism course and stuff, and now at the same time you're now having the education of the bachelor's degree, but still experiencing the lives of the people that have actually joined the campus as freshmen and freshwomen, right? Do you feel like there is a difference? There is a difference gap between the 4 years before and the 4 years now that you're pursuing at the same time.
Yeah, there are really actually very many challenges because while there,
Mm.
right now I've just gone into year 2. Yeah, but of course my classmates actually think some think I've just joined like them. They think like I finished Form 6 like they did, but it's not actually
Yet
true.
you're a legend, man. You're a
Yeah,
legend.
yeah.
Okay.
Yet actually, some actually think, some who know most of my close friends, they know that I completed my Form 6 a couple of years ago, more than not like they did.
Yeah, I
So
remember. I remember meeting one of your friends the other time, and she was actually so much surprised that you have a degree capital. I was like, "What?"
yeah,
It's like, "Yeah, I'm old as fuck. I'm bigger than this time, right? I'm just here pursuing this degree." And so let's a little bit circle back about writing. Yeah, I
yeah,
have
yes, please.
actually about the reviews about your books and stuff, and there's so much. I don't want to speak for them specifically, but what actually inspires you to write this kind of books? Is it the genre? Do you actually writers have genres? Like maybe I'm writing political, I'm writing science, I'm writing poetry. Do you have a genre that specifically you sit and you're like, you know what? I feel like I'm good when I'm writing this.
Yeah, the journey is there, but what inspires me most to write is that I feel like everyone has a story to tell.
Mm,
And this is also in the journalism field. Whereas in the journalism field,
mm,
you're writing about the reality, but in fiction, you're just
mm,
imagining everything. So I
mm,
feel like there is a story out there that I should have told even when I was not in the journalism field. That's why I joined, literature to write, fictional work.
mm. Okay. Okay, your work is so much fictional.
Yeah, it is.
But in what world is it fictional? Is it political? Is it religious? Is it science?
Yeah, the second book, Wounded and Oppressed Handbook,
Mm.
is majorly, political fiction. But the first one talks about societal happenings in.
Do you have a pen? Give me a pen. Okay.
Yeah, the second one just majorly talks about the story of two schoolgirls
Mm.
who do not finish up their academic journey. So it's more of society work, society, societal fiction.
That's the betrayed village, right?
Yes, please.
So here is the betrayed village it's talking about. So this is so much of societal concern, right?
Yeah.
So how about the wounded? Is it political
The
or what?
Wounded is a political fiction. It
Mm.
talks, about the political challenges in society, in the society, like in the society today, what people expect from leaders and what they actually deliver. So
Mm.
it's a way of what of two realities.
Mm. Okay. So okay, that's nice. So tell me about what you actually go through when writing this books. Do you use drugs?
No, I don't, but I usually find,
Are you sure?
I do
You
not.
don't use drugs like we have been told.
It's okay. I got it.
So so you don't use drugs.
I don't use drugs. I just actually most of the times in the night
Mm.
I write when there is a serene environment and everything like that. So a person can actually be compelled to ask,
Mm.
how did you come up with this chapter? But it's always when a person is sober and when the environment is so cool and calm. Nothing like drugs, nothing like of that sort.
Come on, man. Come on. We have had actually scenarios about if we talk about actually the writers, we have come to look at some of the writers in their state of mind. Okay, maybe not the state of mind, like the state of well-being. Like they will have like very disorganized hair while they live. You know about the very big writers we're talking about, yeah?
Yes, please.
So let me pick your ear about this. What is your inspiration? What inspires you to write? Let me use the example of the betrayed village. What inspired you to write this village? Was it life experience? Was it the stories you got from people? Or maybe just something maybe you thought about? Maybe, I don't know. What was the inspiration behind this book?
Actually, it's a very challenging story. I'd actually wanted to share it, but I thought the story was not okay. Like the time was not yet right.
Mm.
But I am a person who has grown up from a very challenging childhood. The
Oh
society where I
man,
come from,
sorry about that.
yeah, having lost my mother at a very young age, and also my sister for later on.
You must have suffered, man.
Yeah, so it's
Oh
really a very
shit. Okay,
oh god,
okay,
it's really a challenging
okay.
childhood. But
Uh,
I felt like, as you can see, the page cover has two schoolgirls, two girls.
yeah.
So it's a tribute to those schoolgirls out there.
Mm.
I just wish them that they can read this book and not be like the fictional characters in this book, Taiwa and Kulu,
Mm.
because it's a tribute to my lost parent and of course the sister whom I lost at a very young age.
Mm.
Yeah, so all the life they are in, which is so troublesome. I just want to motivate the people out there, mostly the girls, to
Mm.
not be like not to die when they are very young. Okay, to keep up with life, to become better people in the future.
Okay, that's dope. One of the favorite artists that I like, actually, musicians, God Riley, is a country musician, and almost every piece of song he has brought outside is in a way like it's an inspiration. There is, I don't remember the title of the song, but he met someone on the road and he had the writing with him like believe in Jesus, and from that he composed the song. So this is a life experience. I didn't know
Yeah,
you suffered that much, man. God, there's a lot. Hey, hey,
yeah.
there's
But
a
I
lot.
guess
There's a lot of tears in this book, baby. I'm telling you. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I guess there's a
Uh,
blessing in disguise. So I actually, when I
mm,
later found out that I had a talent to write,
mm.
I thought I would use my talent.
By the way, how did you find out that? How did you know that you can actually write? I remember back in time, I think I was in my Form 2 and stuff. I thought I could write. I remember I wrote my first poem in Form 5. It was big poem, by the way. If I could, it was about the girl child education, but I was actually comparing it to the dinosaurs, like the days of the dinosaurs, on how the girls were not being given education and stuff. So I thought I could write, but I don't know, man. It feels so hectic. It
Yeah,
feels so hectic.
I developed the talent. I think when I was, nearing completion of my Form 6 level at Namibia Side High School. But of course, even when I joined the journalism course, when we did the literature,
I remember
I
you.
read very
I,
many books.
I remember you putting together this book.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the experience and stuff. I know and other stuff, but let me ask you this, by the way. with the current technology of AI and stuff, when actually AI can write book, can write movies, can write songs, where does it leave the right? Do you feel like actually AI can literally replace the rewriter, or it's just there to help these writers to actually boost their work? I don't know. How do you feel about AI?
I think AI can, can boost the writing culture of writers. But of course, it cannot, take up our jobs because it doesn't have the original touch of writers.
Really?
It can, for example, not write some context in Ruchiga, Runyankore. So
Okay.
at the end of the day, a writer who knows how to write in
Mm,
Ruchiga
mm,
can use AI to maybe translate a text in English. So the best AI can do is to complement on what writers already have. But I don't think it's really practical. It's possible for AI to replace everything. The
mm,
best it can do is to help us. You see, there's even been emergence of audiobooks,
yeah.
all
I
that.
love audiobooks. I'm so
Yeah,
reluctant on reading right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it can't replace everything because it lacks that original touch.
Would you use AI in your writing to help you somewhere? Don't deny it, man. It's here to stay. It is here.
Okay, okay. While I was at the Observer newspaper,
Mm.
our editor told us that
Shout out Observer.
our
It
editor,
has produced some of the good writers, young writers that we have
our editor told us you cannot really leave out the fact that AI has come and you
here.
cannot live without it.
Exactly.
So the best you can do is to coexist with it. If maybe you want to write an article, you have to use it, to maybe edit, proofread, but then you don't have to use it, to edit or to write for you a news article because at the end of the day you find you have produced the same article as the same as maybe another person in another newspaper company, which is so
Okay.
challenging, which is so unethical.
Okay, let me talk about this book. I remember in our last videos we talked about the wounded and priests handbook, right?
Yes, please.
So speak your ear about this again. It's like uh what's the experience, or maybe what's the feedback you've gotten especially about that wounded book? Because man, woo,
It has faced some backlash from the oppressors, but of course also
oh
some,
man, ah, gosh,
and of course some
okay.
some positive feedback from the
Mm,
oppressed.
mm,
There is, of course, it depends on which angle you're reading it from because the dedication is both the oppressors and the oppressed. So
mm,
everyone, both sets of readers have both the book, but of course there is diverging opinions at the end
mm.
of the day. Some people would have actually advised you to why didn't you write this like in this particular angle? Why did you write in this particular angle point of view? So the point of
Mm.
view from the readers is actually differing. But at the end of the day, as a writer, I had to take a stand, and that's what I did.
I fucking love writers, man. But your mind is the mind of a writer is kind of different from what we actually think of the actual word could be. So in your last remarks, I want you to remind people that you're a fucking good writer, that you sat down with your mind blown, I don't know, whatever shit you are going through, and wrote two fucking interesting books. Let them find out wherever they can. And you're actually coming up with also one of very beautiful pieces at the moment.
Yeah,
But for now, just let them know how they can find you, how they can find your pieces of writing,
yeah,
yeah, and stuff like that.
yeah. So if there is any one thing that I want people to take out from our conversation today is that
Mm,
our stories are not just two storybooks. They're
mm,
actually the mirrors of our society. They are not fiction.
mm.
They're just mirrors of our society. So if you reach out to iconic books or even to myself on Agapito UG on all social media platforms, X, Facebook, TikTok, you can actually inbox me and you get to know where you can find your book copies. One, The Betrayed Village is at 15,000 shillings, and Wounded, an Oppressed Handbook is at 20,000 shillings.
Yeah.
So talking about my third book, my publication, which I actually finalized with, is called Orphaned, but due to
Man,
some,
why are you writing about such stories, man? What? What did you call it?
it's called Orphaned,
Jesus
dedicated to
Christ.
those who
Write something about romance. Write something about love.
I would have actually loved to write about the same, but
Why
that will come in the near future
is
when
your
I'm
life
ready.
is your life so sad like that, man?
Some extent it is, but
God, no, you didn't find some happiness. Come on.
okay,
We
this is
can
the
be
thing.
right. Now, the betrayed village, the wounded, orphan. Jesus Christ.
Okay, most of the people, most
That's
of
too
the audience,
much, man.
is falls in that category. So I feel
But
like I
we
should
know.
relate with them.
Ah, shit. Come on. We need something to actually lift our spirits up here. Now, let me ask you, Sophia.
Hmm.
Read for us something very romantic. It could be fiction, of course, it could be fiction. I love fiction, but there'll be so much romantic. Like, teach these people how to actually
Okay.
fall in love and stuff and experience romances in matter how you speak. Man, we
Yeah.
don't want sad
Okay.
stories
Okay.
no
I want to
more.
challenge you on this. In that book, a collection of poems, it also has some of the romantic poems. Like
Okay,
there's a
all right.
there's a title I call to the one I call mine, and of course on my 25th birthday. Like I'm talking about the whole eroticism where everything
Whoa,
going down onto one another, different sex, and of
I
course
talked about romanticism. He talked about erotic poems. Okay,
yeah, they are
how
in.
much? Hopefully, it's not. No, most of the books have been talking about life experience and what else. Hopefully, that poem is about you.
No.
Really?
Okay, it's of
Okay.
course also it's also dedicated to those who look into the skies
Mm.
and get to see the souls of their beloved ones.
Ah,
So I
man.
believe that some people in society have lost their parents, their loved ones, and all that. Whereas it's also a cocktail of poems. It has other poems, romantic ones, suffering, pain, death, but also, to some extent,
Mm.
the ones of joy, happiness, and enjoyment are all in. Just that the title differs.
Okay, that's beautiful. But before we close the show, man, I have a book here. It's called Lost and Shattered. But one and only Ian Harry. Allow me actually find one of the poems and I read it for you here. Yeah. I don't read my reading about poetry and stuff, but I'll try to be as best as an actor when reading this poem. It's called I See You. It's on page 22 of the book, Lost and Shattered. It's one of the very beautiful poetry books that you'll ever find out, trust me. So I See You, it reads like this. I see death. I see you. I see forever collapsing in on itself and it whirls. I see fear. I see you. I see fate twisting you in a chokehold and you wail. I see darkness. I see me. I see resentment from living and I wail.
Yeah, I think.
So much like a lullaby, baby. It's a very beautiful book. It's called Lost and Shattered by Ian Harry. So much of a collection of very beautiful poems. And trust me, if you're a poetry lover, you will love this book. So we
That's
are closing this show. Maybe if you could give your last remarks and then.
I would just maybe also add on, because when we are going into this show, I also peruse through the same
Yeah,
book,
yeah, yeah.
so it's really commendable to some people or everyone out there who loves to read poetry. The author is called Ian Harry, and of course you can reach out to him and get your copies. But for my own self, I want to thank the Iconic Books, everyone who bought the copies on my graduation, because that was the biggest book sale that I've ever made as a writer.
Yeah, you made millions, man. You
And
made
actually also
millions. I'm telling you, you made millions on that
yeah,
event.
so
Yeah.
actually also if you are there, so
Mm.
I thank everyone who bought my books on my graduation day. And of course, later on, I'll publish, when the time is right, I'll publish that book called Orphaned, but that is in the near future. For now, due to purposes of my own security, poems on pages 10, 15, and 20, I've decided to put a halt on that particular book. I'll publish it in the near future.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Lemon City Radio. I've been your awesome host, Lemon City, Mr. Wolfman, the genuine son of Sarah. And by the way, Ian Harris is my fucking producer of this show. And the Lemon City the podcast are the biggest writer you can ever tell. Since we touch base again, we love you. Peace and out.
Bye bye.